that big fat butt.
I'ma eat it. Ah!
What's good, my niggas? Welcome back.
Is this nigga serious?
I say to myself. I've been working 7 days a week, bro. Fuck it. I'm just gonna let it be out there, bro. I'm working 7 days a week, man. Busting ass, man. Just checking stuff. Trying to get ready to get a computer soon, man. Everything finna be good and right, bro. Some Don Nation, man. Just hold on in there, bro. I'm gonna get right back on this consistency right now. Cause look, where's my other phone at? I'm on a different phone right now. Here, go right here. This phone all smashed up right now. It'll work a little bit, just this bottom half, so I'm not even editing my videos. I still got a video on there I need to finish up. Different things like that and stuff like that. But I'm gonna be back on that right now. I'm on a 12 Pro. Just came back in a few weeks ago, but you know, shit finna go back full selling, man. Listen, we finna watch a video of this man saying he's probably with Kevin Durant, like the greatest basketball player next to LeBron, bro, right now in the league, man. Man's goated. He's skilled. He's amazing, bro. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get ready, dive into this. We know what I'm talking about, man. Fuck it, bro. We're gonna keep the mind Friday. We're finna get into the video.
Through 2 games versus the Boston Celtics, Kevin Durant has been awful. And not just awful by his standards, awful period. And yet, relative to what you would expect of a player of Kevin Durant's caliber, the amount of slander he has received has been rather minimal. And it is exactly what has happened in this situation that has always been my biggest issue with Kevin Durant.
I don't know. I usually hear a lot of trash talk about Kevin Durant, especially where I'm from, bro. You know, LeBron James indeed, but Kevin Durant do get his slander and things, and he definitely folding up in the playoffs. It's crazy, but I just think they need a better team all around. Somebody who can help him with some coverage, something who can help stretch, something.
Before I get on with this video, subscribe to this channel for nearly daily NBA playoffs. Kevin Durant has been awful versus the Celtics, but let's actually look at just how awful. Over these 2 games...
Pause it. So, let's see, in the regular season, he's averaging 29.9 points per game, 7.4 rebounds, 6.4 assists, almost a steal, almost a block. While in the postseason, he playing more minutes, while only scoring 25 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, half a block, and 6 turnovers versus 3.5. God dang, on 48% true shooting. That's where it's really bad at. His true shooting percentage is taking a toll. Jesus Christ.
He is averaging 25, 4, and 4, as well as 6 turnovers, and he is doing this shooting 31% from the field and 28% from 3, giving him a 48% true shooting percentage. What is the worst thing about all of this is that Kevin Durant's underperformance has not just been some cherry on top for the Celtics, it has been the catalyst in their success. It's not like everything else was locked down and KD was a part of it and the Celtics just outright dominated it as a result. No, in Game 1, Kyrie had 38, and in Game 2, Kyrie had a stinker of a performance. However, the role players came to play. Bruce Brown had 23, Seth Curry had 16, and Goran Dragic had 18 in just 20 minutes. The Celtics won Game 1 by, of course, a Jason Tatum game winner, a game winner that was Durant's fault, by the way, because he was ball watching, and they won Game 2 by just 7 points. The difference between the Nets winning and losing these games is not a matter of Kevin Durant having a good performance. It's literally just him being not terrible. Faced a ton of double teams, and Tatum seems to have taken this matchup very seriously. So seriously that he divulged a majority of his energy on the defensive side of the floor, not being aggressive with his shot, rather opting to focus on defense.
It's an ad, hold on, y'all.
And passing. But this is a superstar player, and we expect more out of superstar players than this level of production. Hell, we expect more out of all-star level players. And that is entirely regardless of their circumstances. Jimmy Butler received endless slander for how he played versus the Bucks in the playoffs last year. Julius Randle, same thing versus the Hawks. In both instances, especially in the case of Butler, the teams they played had an amazing defensive game plan in place to do everything in their power to shut them down. And those guys did not get passes or the benefit of the doubt whatsoever. Superstar players are expected to get hit and then recover, and even before they recover, they're gonna get some slander for even taking the hit in the first place. Is when we have multiple players held to a high esteem who seem to have completely different levels of scrutiny and expectations for a variety of reasons. Two players who are in conversations for the best of the league, but one of them is held to a crazy high standard and thus held back by that unreasonable standard, while the other is allowed to get away with shit that the other wouldn't dream of. That is a problem when we're trying to be on equal footing here. And it is the problem that I have always had with Kevin Durant. And that problem has been well documented on this channel, as if you've been around here long enough, you know that I do not subscribe to the prototypical understanding of Kevin Durant as a basketball player. My most prevalent video on the matter being in my Who is the Best Player in the NBA series. Unlike every other video in the series, which I titled something along the lines of, let's say, is Stephen Curry the best player in the world? I instead titled this one, Why Kevin Durant Isn't, making my definitive opinion the actual title. The reason I felt it was necessary to title KD's video in this manner, unlike everyone else, is because for some reason, unlike any other player in the world, people who claim Kevin Durant to be the best in the league do not usually back up that opinion. If I told you that Jokic is the best player in the world, I have to back that up. If I said Embiid, if I said LeBron, if I said Steph Curry, if I said Giannis, you are expected to back that up, given how much competition there truly is for the title of best in the world. But for some reason, when these conversations happen, when it is Kevin Durant who is claimed to be the best in the world, it is treated as though it is a no-brainer. Stephen A. Smith is the easiest example to point to. He constantly says KD is the best in the world and that it's not even debatable. And here's my problem with all of this. It is absolutely fucking debatable. I never see claims that Giannis is the best player in the league, no debate, or LeBron is the best player in the league, no debate. People understand it's a conversation involving a ton of players with where the league stands at the current moment, and yet Durant is this outlier where just the people who think it is him think it's obvious, and they don't have to participate in the conversation in the same way. And I think where this comes from is Kevin Durant is not held to the same level of scrutiny as other players as a basketball player. And the as a basketball player distinction is very important. We'll talk about that later. He has a bad performance, he does not get blamed for it, and that's assuming it's even acknowledged, and the weaknesses in his game are not picked apart and looked at critically. And that last part, actually picking apart each aspect of his game, is another thing that annoys me quite a bit, because Kevin Durant, outside of scoring the basketball, doesn't actually do anything at an elite level in the NBA. He has had times in his career where his all-around game was much more solidified than it is now, especially in Golden State, where he was the best he ever was on defense, arguably the best he was as a playmaker, and honestly, I'd say the best he was, period. But his all-around game, defense, passing, rebounding, intangibles, leadership, a sixth thing on the list, all of that has always been like C+ to B- level for the majority of his career. So what we have,
I don't know about C+, it's probably been B- to B+, if you want to be honest. I mean, it's like putting on Kobe. Like, KD's like a tall ass Kobe in my opinion in some ways. Like, bro, just tunnel vision. Bro's a backyard scorer. You can tell, bro. He used to be at the park a lot, man. He's a dangerous foe. Somebody really heavy to deal with. He's not a freak athlete, so all that stuff wouldn't really matter. We knew this. This is really why he don't get scrutinized about a lot of that, because he already had all that scrutiny coming in before.
Here is a great scorer with an okay to good all-around game. And what drives me crazy is that is an archetype of basketball player that is criticized all of the time. Sure, you can score, but what can you do outside of it? There is no player I can describe in NBA history who you could easily say is only elite at scoring that gets less criticism for his game than Kevin Durant. Think of Carmelo Anthony, or in recent years, Devin Booker. The reason this ticks me off in particular is Zach LaVine, because he got that all the time. All he does is score, even though he does it better than 95% of the players in the league. For some reason, that's not enough. Now, one of the main answers to why this is the way it is that Kevin Durant is at worst the second best scorer of all time. I personally have him number 2 behind Michael Jordan because of something I'm about to say. So you can say that he is so good at scoring that it overrides the fact that his all-around game is, you know, not that great. But even somehow, and I'm gonna be careful with how I choose my words here, that is overrated. I mean, Kevin Durant scoring, the way that it's talked about, and just the way that scoring is talked about in general.
But yeah, like you just said, if it was that kind of players, it's not just that kind of players. Because Kevin Durant is only one Kevin Durant. You're trying to put into perspective of if what it could have been, but nigga, it's not that. What are you talking about? There's nobody that's scoring like KD, doing it how KD's doing it. Ball handles of a guard, at freaking 7 foot with long ass feet. I mean, come on. I understand what you're trying to say and what you're trying to put, but you honestly just don't like Kevin Durant. It's cool. I'm pretty sure the hatred came from going to the Warriors.
In comparison to the difference of their all-around games, it is certainly negligible. Take Giannis, Jokic, and Embiid versus Kevin Durant, for example. Looking at their 2022 seasons, KD averaged 29.9 points on 63% true shooting. Embiid averaged 30.6 points on 62% true shooting. Jokic averaged 27.1 points on 66% true shooting. And Giannis also averaged
Man, this nigga's so goddamn aggravating. He's alright, but still, bro, come on, bro. For when you're looking at the same reason, Joel Embiid scored. You talking more? He only scored 1 point,
Bruh.
He only on an average only scored like a little over 1 point. Not even that really. He didn't even score that. So for him to be sitting here doing all that goddamn boo-hooing is freaking ridiculous right now. With less true shooting. KD's got the second highest true shooting percentage up there. With Giannis being matched to his scoring with a 1% less. It's not big of a difference, so that's the same. The only thing he really got correct. So we talk about Nikolai with
29.9 on 63% true shooting. KD and Giannis averaged literally the same points on the same efficiency. Embiid averaged more points on mildly worse efficiency. Jokic averaged less points on notably higher efficiency. The difference, just because Kevin Durant can score with a few more moves these guys can't, isn't as big a difference as the difference between KD versus like Giannis and Embiid as defenders and rebounders, and Jokic as a passer and rebounder. All of that, if Kevin Durant was just simply held accountable for his underperformances to the same level that other star and superstar caliber players are expected to. No joke, I have seen Jokic get more heat for his very mild underperformance in the first 2 games versus the Warriors than I saw.
Jokic got that because I'm pretty sure everybody thought that Warriors weren't going to come in and doing much. And now they're in here whooping the dog tail out of the guy. Man, come on, dude. They're whipping the dog tail out of them. They're going to gentleman sweep the goddamn Nuggets, bro. Why you minding on that? I know Durant, but Durant came in as a seed 7. They're missing a lot. I had a bad team with bad chemistry. Much wasn't going on. Kyrie was doing his own BS. I think KD was injured. I don't know. But come on, man. You need to cut him a little slack. Just a little bit.
In the league without a listed reason why, and that's the same expectation I have for any other player. Kevin Durant is very much in the conversation for the best player in the world. It's not clear-cut, and I'm tired of it being treated like it is. But what exactly led to the discourse around Kevin Durant as a basketball player being the way that it is? Well, I think we all kind of know, right? It was one big thing.
Told you.
Ever since Kevin Durant has joined the Warriors, every single conversation around him that has been negative has been pretty much about that decision and his subsequent decision to go to the Brooklyn Nets, as well as some other off-the-court comments because Durant is a rather colorful character. To put it simply, the off-the-court drama with Kevin Durant has been so overwhelming that he has become one of the most hated players in all of basketball and really all of sports. And I personally think Durant gets way too much flack for these decisions and his comments. I actually love Durant as a personality. I think he has one of the best accounts on Twitter, and while I was mad at the Warriors' decision at the time, I think most mature people have gotten well over it. But no, Kevin Durant is not a perfect player because no one is. And he's proving that in Boston. He proved it when he went 0 for 6 in overtime versus the Bucks in Game 7, which again, no one talks about, just further proving my point. And he proved it in the 2016 Conference Finals versus the Warriors, just for that all-time 3-1 lead blowing underperformance to go under the radar because he quickly made a decision after that that distracted everyone from that blunder. Kevin Durant became so controversial and so hated off of the court that it made his game impervious to criticism because we were busy criticizing everything else.
At the end of the day, Kevin Durant made a good decision when he left to the Warriors. Like he said, they molded him into the perfect guy that he was. Not everybody's perfect, he's right, but we're not finna say that like Kevin Durant offensively was not that guy. He was. That's why they dominated in the finals. Everything went good for him, man, but it is what it is. He's still fine. He's still one of the best out there regardless, man. He does it. And it's not like he's trash. On the other scales, he just average. It's better than some people who really suck at it, you know, can't really do defense at all or anything like that. I feel like KD got a little something there. But anyways, if you feel different, you know, tell in the comments, you know how it is. Hit the like. I'm gonna put the link to the channel. I forgot the channel name right now. Anyways, man, if you enjoy, hit the subscribe. Deuces.
Down walk, then I lean with it. I can tell these niggas never really touch the band. Commando Joe, pop my wheelie, make a handstand. I be in the scenes, I be at the shows, but I'm like a ghost. Danny Fedder never known. Don't ask how he died, just know it's for a reason. He didn't keep the treason, now he a dead heathen. But without a fault, you already lost. You know how many niggas switch up.
I'ma eat it.